Player you like does well, quote, I told you he's awesome. Player you like doesn't do well, preseason doesn't matter. Look who he was playing against. Player you like does poorly, preseason doesn't matter. Look who he's playing with. Player you don't like does poorly. I told you he sucks.
What are we doing? It's the preseason.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo Plus with the League podcast. Mike Catalana along with Dan Fates, Jenna Cottrell with a veteran day off. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The League brought to you by Stellar Roofing, Windows, and Siding. We thank Stellar for being with us on the League podcast. Now, we cover the Buffalo Bills, but we pay attention to the entire league. And sometimes, Dan, those things come together. We got a chance to be in Orchard Park this week to see the Bills playing a few of their starters and the Giants playing a few too, and then mixing it up, and got to see a young quarterback. And I said to you, as we were talking about the league this week, I said, I'm encouraged by young quarterbacks and seeing them play well and taking the next step.
And then what did we also talk about? Do you know who didn't play well in the preseason?
Josh Allen.
Do you know who did?
EJ Manuel. I mean, back in the Bills days, and I'm talking about early in the preseason. Yeah. The reason I say this is, Dan, we got to watch Jackson Dart look good, played well.
Yes.
I think that's great. I think it's great for the Giants. I think it's great for the league when a young player looks well. But I turn on ESPN, and I'm not talking about fans who are excited. They should be excited. Dan, I'm turning on ESPN, and I'm hearing legitimate people in this league going, one thing we know now, the Giants got themselves a quarterback. And I'm thinking, you might.
Yeah.
It's the first preseason game. What are we doing to these young guys?
What are we doing?
What are we doing to them by overhyping them with such a small sample size in the circumstances that they played?
Yeah, we obviously know that we're in desperate need of football being back because we treated week one of the preseason like it was real football. Like that was the discussion of where it's over. You always talk about it's panic. What was it? Overreaction and panic. Either you win or you panic.
Win or panic.
Yeah,
that's the NFL. Not the preseason.
Not the preseason, but I feel like we are having a little bit of this. You know, you're so hungry for football when you're talking about these games and these players as if they showed out on Monday night in a playoff game.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from him. We're going to talk about a few of those guys. It's Jackson Dart, it's Tyler Schaaf, it's Shedeur Sanders, right? And we got a good look at J.J. McCarthy, at least a decent look at him. I know he's not a rookie technically, but he didn't play last year. But in this case, Dan, when I talk about these players, I'm not talking about looking at that game and saying, hey, he looked good. He did this well and that well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about taking that and
extrapolating.
That's close.
Extrapolating.
I thought it was extrapolate. Oh, God, we're in trouble.
Where's Jenna?
To need us over a period of time.
Yeah.
And not just to say, hey, the guy looked pretty good. I think that's unfair to the player because they have enough pressure on them without thinking that one game against the 2s and the 3s really means what you could do when it gets to the regular season.
It's hard to put into context. And I know we all say it. What bothers me and the quarterback play is the highest thing that we talk about. And it's what every network talks about. And it goes through with the most fine-tooth comb. But it is universally accepted that the preseason does not matter, that you do not care about the final score.
Right.
It's kind of what we've talked about on other podcasts. But then at the same time, I do think there is some truth to individual stats. And we're going to talk about these quarterbacks. I would rather have them do well and be encouraged than if Jackson Dart fell on his face and went 0 for 11 and you go, oh boy, like all this stuff. But I don't understand why I feel like 95% of the football fans understand, like, preseason, the results don't matter. You do things that you wouldn't normally do, end of game situations, all that stuff. You have Brian Daboll calling timeouts with 9 seconds left to ice the kicker, at the end of a half, all that stuff. But then I'm also seeing not only the overreaction of the quarterbacks, Mike, it's the overreaction to Bills can't defend a screen pass.
Yeah.
It's, hey, Bills can't get off the field on third down. It's like, so you don't care about the score. but you're going to care about the team statistics. And like I said, some of this stuff is a product of, like you said, going against 2s and 3s, going against guys that will not be in the NFL. The Shedeur Sanders one is fascinating because I think that there was a low bar, like because he was a 5th round pick. It was like, he's going to go out there and fall on his face, and he didn't. No. And he looked competent, but that doesn't mean that all of a sudden quarterback controversy's over in Cleveland. It's Shedeur's world now. It's like, it was a preseason game, guys.
I think Dan Orlovsky on ESPN said it best. He was talking about Shedeur
Friend
Sanders.
Of the channel.
He is. And he said, I think Shedeur earned the right to get more time with 1s and 2s.
Yep.
Totally agree. That's the way it works on an NFL team. I could also tell you that I believe coaches, smart coaches, and Brian Daboll knows how to coach quarterbacks when he has one.
Yes.
And he had one in Buffalo, and maybe he's got one now.
Yep.
I think early on, he wants to see the guy have confidence. He sets up the plays they call, what they do with the offensive line, how they get him into space, how they accentuate what he does well. That's giving him some confidence. And then he's going to make a mistake, and Daboll's going to get after him.
Right.
Because that's what good coaching is. This is a nice step for him. By the way, I did love that Dart said his play was mid.
Yes.
And Daboll, I think he knew it because maybe from his kids.
He did know it.
He did know it. But then he said 6, 7,
8.
Or 7, 8. Is it 6?
This is not
well, this is even beyond you. I asked my stepdaughter, and she was like, yeah, I don't like that phrase, but she knew exactly what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought it out for the media, which is
kind
of funny.
And the media asked him, they're like, did you know that you made this reference? And he's like, yep, I knew you guys wouldn't get it because Daboll's the best.
He is.
I also think part of this too is maybe this is too far, not conspiracy, but looking into it. They are in a hot seat.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Jackson Dart goes out there in the first preseason game and lays an absolute egg, that is going to be talked about very negatively and heavily in the New York media.
Yeah.
So I think maybe there's a little bit, because there was a lot of play action. There was more than what felt like just base offense. Like there felt like there was on the Sean McDermott scale of 0 to 10, there may have been a 2 for game planning for Dart to make sure that this rookie got off to a decent start in the eyes of the league.
And I think that's great. And I think that's smart coaching. And I had a coach tell me years ago, you want to make a young quarterback look good in the preseason, you do bootlegs, you do play actions, you set him up for success. I agree with all that. I just wish the smart people in the NFL, and I understand sometimes it's for clicks and it's big when you say they got themselves a quarterback, and fans get excited, and they should be excited about a young quarterback. I just want to say, pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, Josh Allen, we've gotten a chance to watch him in training camp in the preseason in Buffalo when he was the 3rd string quarterback.
Yes.
And then he was the backup for the opening game. And then they realized how bad the other guy was.
Yep.
And Josh has been the starter ever since. And his first really 2 years was a typical Josh Allen roller coaster.
Absolutely.
You saw the talent, but it took a while. And that was with Brian Daboll. And I know we're never going to have patience with these guys. My concern is that they'll go the other way on them as young players. Right away, be like, oh boy.
Go ahead, do it.
Who am I going to rip?
Go ahead. Who are you going to rip?
I'm not.
You're going to do it.
No, not at all. I'm saying.
Say CJ.
No, that's not what I meant. And I will get into that because there's another one of those quarterback lists. I will get to that. But I look at the young guys, and I said, I do remember that EJ Manuel game, and people were excited and all. And
the shush, right?
Yes.
In Cleveland, he shushed everybody.
But it's just a preseason game. Now, Shedeur Sanders, I think he's had a little chip on his shoulder, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
I mean, whatever the reasons are, you want to put some of the blame on him, certainly. You want to say teams missed on him. He's going to be out there to prove that they missed on him. And he looked the part. I will give him that in that game. Again, in the context of how the other team was playing, how everything was going in the game.
I think individual stats can be good to look at in the preseason. A wide receiver goes out there, has 100 yards. A running back goes out there and has 70 yards and a touchdown. Like, hey, this guy has something.
Yeah.
But to look at the result, the team score, the Bills can't, now stop a screenplay, all these things. Like, what are we doing? It's the preseason. And it's so funny because in the big picture, everybody seems to have the context like, hey, no matter what happens here, the only goal is no injuries.
Yeah.
But then you're still breaking down film. I'm still seeing PFF reports and grades about how good Deion Walker looked and TJ Sanders. And it's like, I'm not saying that those aren't valuable. I'm saying I don't know how much I'm going to live and die by them after week 1 of the preseason.
Our friend of the pod, Ross Tucker, was talking about preseason rankings, and he said, this is the preseason evaluation guide. Player you like does well, quote, I told you he's awesome. Player you like doesn't do well, preseason doesn't matter. Look who he was playing against.
I love it.
Player you like does poorly. Oh, preseason doesn't matter. Look who he's playing with. Player you don't like does poorly. I told you he sucks. So
exactly.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of that. I understand that from a fan point of view. I guess I'm a little frustrated with some, especially, I always like to say the national guys.
Yes.
And I know they're hype machines, but sometimes I think it's unfair to the player. I want you to talk about, you've mentioned it, the Sean McDermott answer. Matt Bove, friend of the pod, asked him the question about game planning.
Yeah, because I think that gets lost in all of this. We know how much goes into coaching, all these things, and the game plan. They talk about how long they've installed game plans during the regular season. And Matt Bove asked Sean McDermott, like, if 0 is nothing and 10 is the Super Bowl, where are you, or a regular season game, where are you game planning? And he said it's somewhere in between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
Like, that is how little. And that is because they want the players to just play free. They don't want them thinking about assignments. It's just go out there and play free and fast. Like, that, I think, is the most important thing. So that's where I can look at and say, hey, this wide receiver won some routes. That's great. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit more. Who was he going up against? Like, what team was he going up against? All of those kind of things. So, but to look at this and say the Bills can't, why did they let Dart escape? And I can't believe this throw. Like, relax
on that. Yeah.
And again, we're also saying relax on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like this thought of a guy does great. Hey man, Pro Bowler. Like, hey, remember this guy that did this in the preseason? It's all just pump the brakes a little bit. And again, I go into this. I said it last year, and I know we are more Bill centric here, but like, they looked awful against the Steelers. The offense.
How about the Bears?
Also awful.
Awful. And last year, the Bears absolutely game planned for that game.
Caleb, Hard Knocks, all of that stuff.
And they took the Bills apart.
Yeah.
He made a great throw, and everybody was excited. What happened? They didn't have a good year, fire the coach, change everything, and the Bills are a whisker from the Super Bowl. I'm not saying it has to be that disparate between the game and the other game, but a lot of overreaction to that. And it elevated Caleb Williams a little bit.
Yeah.
Something that he was not able to replicate during the regular season.
I don't know what the Bills' preseason record was last year. I don't know what it was the year before that. And I never know what the Bills' preseason
back in their
record.
old Super Bowl years, they would lose nearly every preseason game. Now, it's a different world. I will tell you this. The old thinking was before. Starters play a little, starters play a half. Third game is the dress rehearsal, where they play 3 quarters
where
of the
the
game.
quarterback's at the
and then
helm.
The fourth game at the helm, such an only in journalism word. And then the fourth game, they either play a little or rest guys.
Yeah.
Those days are done.
Yeah.
Like, your starters are barely seeing the field. It's a limited amount of time. I know the Bengals got their guys out there. That's another one. They've gotten off to poor starts this season. Other seasons.
Yeah.
So they played their starters against the Eagles in game 1. And Joe Burrow looked great. He went down the field twice, got touchdowns. And I think that's great for them and their confidence. Joe Burrow is good.
Very good.
We know that he's good.
Can confirm.
What does that do for them a month from now when they play their first game?
I was thinking about that too. Like,
it's a month later.
Yeah, like there's some starters obviously that are going to rest and you're not going to see them, but they got some reps within the past calendar year.
I call bullshit on all of it. I don't think Josh Allen needs snaps in the preseason. Don't think so. I
agree with that because I think it's way more what they want is the controlled environment in practice.
Yeah.
That's where they want, where they know he's safe and protected and can't get injured, and they can simulate what they want him to work on.
I'm going back to preseason games. Bills, Packers a few years ago. The Bills torched them, played Josh all the way into the third.
Yep.
He lit them up.
Week 1, they stunk.
Terrible against the Steelers.
Stunk.
Terrible.
Yep.
I just don't see that it always goes into that. I think the coaches look for what they really want. And I've said this line, the regular season is all about team. It's all about whatever it takes as a team to win. The game plan, how it works amongst all the players, how you're going to use them. The preseason is, like you said, is about the individual. How does this guy look in this setting? Can we set him up where he's alone on an island as a corner? And is there, if you have your left tackle,
and that may never happen in a game in the regular season.
Well, if you have your left tackle, you might say in the regular season, a young left tackle, we might be helping him.
Yeah.
We're going to see how he does.
Yep.
We don't. And by the way, it's not our starting quarterback behind him. It's the backup. So I don't know. Maybe go feel free to comment. Maybe you think I'm making too much of it. I just saw too many people who know better tweeting out to the world, this guy looks like the real deal. This looks great. I'm like, it's all in bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the real NFL yet. Spring training heroes, where you find out, man, oh my God, this guy goes out and gives up 3 home runs and everybody's like, and he's like, yeah, I'm working on something.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, they told me I had to throw 13 changeups. Right. And they're not great right now. So they got hammered. Okay. Like that's what it is.
So the context of knowing what it is, I think, is important. But that idea of not game planning for the preseason, I think makes total sense. Because
why would you show your hand?
Well, you don't want to show anything, right? What you would want to do. Now, that being said, I do think they go over things with players. Like, you're going to probably go up against this guy. And that, if I'm a young player, I'm out there, I'm going, I want to know who I'm going against. I want to see what we think he's going to do.
Where I stack up.
That's how you're going to get ready for a regular season game.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the veterans help the young players too, how to prepare. That starts in the preseason because there is a big adjustment when these guys go from college to the pros.
Yeah.
When they better watch a lot of tape. And the veterans can help them with that. And they will have cut-ups of the other team. They will see what that player does.
Yeah.
So when you're a young safety or a young corner or a young wide receiver, you're probably going to go against this guy. Even in the preseason, that doesn't mean you don't do your individual work. It just means it's not scripted like, well, the scripted word. I know some people get triggered by that. It's not scripted games, but it's what the game is. It just plays out. It becomes less and less important as it goes along.
Again, I think about this as we're so hungry for football to be back. We're acting like this is real football, and there's only a bit of it that is real. And to not overreact to what you're seeing, the grades, one rep doesn't make or break a person's career in the first preseason game.
Yeah, when we watch those, like if you watch veterans, like Dan was saying, and we were saying, watching the Bills, like encouraged by how healthy and fast Matt Milano looks. This is a guy who's been an all-pro player.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he has been great. Very different because you don't have to think what this guy could be. We already know what he's been.
Yep.
If he has his health, there's a version of that is out there. We have seen it. And the young players in general looked okay for the Bills. I've seen people say, wow, these guys are going to be this. We have first of all, they're not as a block. Like some guys are going to be good. Some guys are not going to be good. That's the way it works out. You never hit on all of them. So it's okay to be encouraged. You just got to pump the brakes on it.
Yeah. We need regular season football.
Yes,
so that we can overanalyze everything with the right amount of intensity.
And then we can have our lists. So the latest one is out. And Dan's favorite thing is talking about the quarterback rankings.
It is?
No, you hate it.
Yeah.
You always say, I hate it. So Mike Sando had the latest one. It's at The Athletic, and they interviewed all the coaches and GMs and whatever it is. And with this list, I don't really care. It ends up being Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar. I don't really care what order you put them. I think Allen.
Yes. I think you can make a case for
any one of them to be one.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
So in other lists, sometimes Josh Allen has been number one. Lamar has been number one.
Burrow's the one to me that is the most interesting, because I remember saying it on the Buffalo Plus podcast, like, hey, when we were talking about MVP stuff,
right?
I go, if the Bengals find a way to sneak in, Joe Burrow's going to win the MVP, because not only is that defense atrocious that he is playing with, but the numbers that he had to put up because of how bad they were was crazy.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow had a massive year last year. And that, I think, kind of gets lost with the Bengals stinking as a team, but he was a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, he put up great numbers. He does have pretty good wide receivers.
Doesn't hurt.
In that case.
Oh, are you one of the Philly guys? Don't do that.
What's that?
Like where people talk about like ranking, where you rank quarterbacks, is that like people ding Jalen Hurts for the fact that he has really good wide receivers?
No, but this is the point I was going to make. So Matt Stafford is 5th, and he has had a great career. I don't know if he's 5 today. You could say, what's Matt Stafford had for him in L.A.? Sean McVay?
Yeah.
Very good wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Like, he's had that, and he's been very good, and he won a Super Bowl. It's just, he is a darling of
the media.
And this is coaches and GMs.
Yeah.
Like, he has been that guy. Jaden Daniels, I talked to you about C.J. Stroud. So Jaden Daniels was 6th. C.J. Stroud was 9th.
Okay.
I thought Jaden Daniels' rookie year was considerably better than C.J. Stroud's rookie year. And Stroud was really good. I thought he was good. I thought Daniels absolutely carried that team.
Yeah, C.J. did.
He was very good as a rookie.
CJ had some of that moments too. And it was low expectations coming off of everything.
Right. I just thought Daniels was a different player. I would be surprised if he doesn't maintain. Stroud took a step back. Then they had some injuries. The two that get me there are 7 and 8. It's Herbert and Goff.
Herbert's the most confusing one of all.
He is great numbers.
Yeah.
Looks great throwing the ball. Great head of lettuce. Got all that going on for him.
I feel like we're past like the knowing what Justin Herbert could. Everybody's like, there's arm talent. He's got Stafford's arm. He's got Josh Allen's arm.
And the numbers, it all looks good.
Yeah. And
was atrocious in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going the postseason route because that's been bad, but he is kind of like the Phillip Rivers. Like, it all looks, when you look on paper, it looks something different than what I see with my eyes.
Yeah. And then you have Jalen Hurts is tied at 9th. I just would put Hurts. I would have Hurts like 7th. I would have him ahead of Herbert. I would have him ahead of Goff, and I would have him ahead of Stroud. In part because when you're going to judge a quarterback,
yeah,
he's been tremendous in the playoffs, big moments.
Yeah,
also adds the running element to it. And we talk about the roster.
I mean, outdueled Mahomes in both Super Bowls,
really. And we talk about the roster, and their roster is great. So's the Baltimore Ravens. And I love Lamar as a player.
Yeah.
He has not been great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So sometimes you add those things in. And I think the guy who is way too low on this list is 11. It's Baker Mayfield. I think Baker, I would take Baker ahead of Goff and ahead of Stroud and ahead of Herbert.
Goff is such an interesting.
I like Goff too. He's a very good player.
It's just so interesting because of, you don't trade away franchise quarterbacks. So it's almost like, okay, well, he's not a franchise quarterback, but then he plays well in that system. Yeah. He's got a lot of things going for him around on that offense. I think this will be a big year to see the change. They lost Dominic Raiola, their center, who retired. So like, that's a big change.
And they lost Ben Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a great left tackle, things like that. So it's just an interesting thing because he, to me, is like at times the opposite of Justin Herbert, where it doesn't look good, but he puts up some nice numbers and has, again, it's been a short sample size, but he went to a Super Bowl with LA and Sean McVay and all of these things. It is an interesting where it's like the wave that has been Jared Goff, where it's like, okay, he's really good coming out, first overall pick, then he stinks, they trade him away, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, Goff and the Lions again are a juggernaut. The Ben Johnson thing is going to be a big watch for me to see how that Lions offense, who lost, Lions team in general, losing both coordinators is massive.
Yeah, I think so too. Look, this is just to have a little bit of fun because these are players we have seen.
Dak at 12.
Yeah, Dak at 12, but he has been hurt. Jordan Love at 13, Brock Purdy at 14. Like, it depends on how they are perceived. The top guys are really
Dak is ass.
The top guys are usually really, really judged by the ultimate goal.
Yes.
And of those top four, only Burrow's made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Mahomes.
Well, obviously Mahomes. I mean, of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Burrow's, Mahomes is the given.
Yeah.
And then only, and so that has been what has been. It has been so dominated by, Mahomes and then Brady before that it's
and Tua's not
funny.
even in the top 14.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. He's going to need a big year to move back up the rankings.
We were joking around at training camp, like Tua fits him moving on and playing in like Arizona and being fine.
Yeah.
And being a solid quarterback in Arizona where nobody really cares.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of that way in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, but now by the way, the backup there, that guy also looked good in the preseason. Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Back when he was with the Jets.
Yes.
It's like, hey, we got ourselves something here with the Jets. So
I'm over. Yeah.
Yes. Just take it for what it is. Be excited and then
move on.
Because the regular season's coming. Then we can overreact to
Then
everything.
We're allowed to overreact.
You are free to overreact.
Yes.
First game, win.
I will be riding
panic.
I will be riding shotgun on the overreaction bus.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. And we want your comments. We want to know exactly what you think. You may say you think Jackson Dart is the man. He's going to take over as the start. By the way, if I was the Giants, I'd get him in there starting. I don't want to watch Russell Wilson. You saw Russ come out on the field.
Oh my gosh. Come on. Like literally after we've like talked about like the preseason, like Josh came out and did the preseason. He's like, hey guys, fly around out there, have some fun, cheer on the sidelines like that. And Russ is like, this is our moment. This is what we've worked for. We got this. We're ready for this. Prepare. And you're like, oh my gosh. I just couldn't like, and it's funny. We were talking about, we did this thing. We were on the sidelines and we were doing Super Bowl or not. Like, is this guy a Hall of Famer or not?
Okay.
And so we did a bunch of these things. And Russ was one of the guys that got brought up. And it's so interesting to think about these last 2 years have tainted so much of what an underrated career was in Seattle. Like, he's never received an MVP vote, but he was so good with Seattle and in those Super Bowl runs. And yeah, he had the Legion of Boom that was like a big part of it. But it's just so weird to see what Russell Wilson has turned into.
His numbers and his history are very similar to what Jalen Hurts is. 2 Super Bowls, 1 close, 1 a win. The numbers are good, had a very good team around him. All that's the same. Personality-wise, they are 180-degree difference. They're not the same, and Hurts is still only 26 years old, but that's where Russ was.
Yeah.
With a couple of Super Bowls and a win and all those things. The trajectory was Hall of Fame. I think he's going to be certainly in the mix because he's won a championship and been to 2 in terms of Russ, but just a little bit different. And
the one thing we were talking about was just quickly how we started the topic was Deion Dawkins. And so he was like, oh, could Deion Dawkins be a Hall of Famer? And I was like, nope.
Yeah,
and it's because he doesn't have an All-Pro, which is something I know he very much wants. I think he was 42 in the NFL.
Yeah.
Top 100 this year. So that's a big plus for Deion. He's got 4 Pro Bowls. Like, that's great and all these things. But when you think about the best tackles in football in Deion's career, it's Trent Williams, it's Lane Johnson. And then you also have like the guys now that are coming up after him.
Yeah.
Are Joe Alt, Penei Sewell. Like, he's a really, he should be he will have his number retired in Buffalo as he should be. He will be a Ring of Honor in Buffalo. But every single year, Trent Williams and Lane Johnson are winning All Pros, and that is what I think gets you Hall of Famers.
Yeah, and you have to be elite. And those, you're right, that All Pro status really does make a big difference in those positions.
It's interesting dynamic.
Yeah, but to even be in the mix tells you you're a hell of a player.
Hell of a player.
But it's that other notch usually that
it would be, Dion would have an electric Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah. He'll probably make one anyhow.
Yeah.
Be good for him.
Drift cars.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. Make sure you comment. We'll be commenting on the league all season long. For Dan Fates, I'm Mike Catalana, Jenna Cottrell with a veteran day off. And thank you to Stellar Roofing, Windows, and Siding for being our sponsor. And we will see you next time on the Buffalo Plus channel presented by Connors and Ferris.